All right, this week we're driving from Illinois to Ohio, which I actually grew up in Ohio, but oh my gosh, this drive, I can't even. We put a little carport. It was pouring rain into the car. It was hilarious, but it was also like, oh my gosh. So anyways, we drove. It was a crazy drive, and I actually grew up in a tiny little town called Andover, Ohio. I didn't make it back there, but I'm going to stay in another part of Ohio called Youngstown, Ohio, where my little brothers live. So we got in town, went to the grocery store, went to the thrift store, my mom, and then we went to this place called Jimmy's. If you are in Youngstown, you have to check out Jimmy's. It is a really good little like Italian deli. I didn't know this, but Youngstown is like an old mob town. Oh my gosh, I posted this thing on TikTok and it kind of blew up, and I had all these people saying all these crazy things. It was hilarious. But anyways, oh my gosh, today is Friday at 3. I don't even know where to I haven't got on in a week, and I'm gonna be honest, this part of my trip has been really difficult. Not only am I just kind of tired of traveling, but staying with my mom and just being around her has been so triggering, really triggering. And I know myself and I trust myself now that I know how to handle when I get triggered like this, but it's just a lot. And more than anything, there's been so many moments where I've just broken down and cried in sadness for who I had to become as a little girl to survive the environment that I was put in. And it's not that I'm trying to speak negatively about my mom, but as a parent, your decisions affect your children. And my mom had a very different upbringing than I did. And she was raised as an only child, and she was raised very privileged, and that was the complete opposite of my childhood. Is I had lots of brothers and sisters, and we were pretty poor, and I as a young child took on a lot of responsibility, way more than I as a child should have. Being able to reflect on it, I now see my mom didn't even understand the responsibility that I was picking up, because we're just very different people. And I've always been such a sensitive soul. When I see people go through hard things, I don't know why, but my body feels it too. And as a little girl, I watched my mom struggle so much, and I was always there trying to help her. But then I got old enough to understand that she was the one that was putting herself in these situations. And so when I walked away, it was really hard for me. And she was really sad without me. And so she tried to get me to come back. And as a little girl, it was so hard for me to leave my mom. But then once that I left her, I realized that it's not that she didn't love me, but she didn't understand the pain that she was causing me. And then she caused me more pain by not understanding how much I needed to get away from that. I know everything happens for a reason, and I have made peace with my past, but to be back in it is a whole other thing. And to be back in it and then see why I became who I became was also just a whole other thing. And I really think that this was also the magic, as much as it's painful. We all become who we become because of the environments that we're in. And one thing that I've really learned about traveling is how different the living conditions are in different places. And I can see the quality of life is different in different places based off of what each person likes. And now, as an adult, I really understand how important putting yourself in a good environment is. And it's really just hard because everybody learns different lessons at different times. And I have a lot of respect for my mom for what she did, but there's also a lot of things that just don't really make sense to me on why they happened. But I understand that it was part of the process of me becoming who I was meant to be. But there's also this aspect of me evolving and becoming better than what I came from. And it's kind of a painful process because you have to let go of that life that you came from that created you. And it's a lot. Heavy. I don't know another word to say but heavy. Anyway, so this was actually a perfect little magic. I have a friend, my best friend from childhood. She lives in Michigan, so I rented a car and I drove up to Michigan. This is at the Henry Ford Museum. If you are ever near Dearborn, Michigan, you have to go to this place, especially if you have a family. It's a really cool place. It's like an interactive history book. I don't know how else to say it, but it's like you're living in the old time, and they have all these like interactive people that kind of tell you about how things used to be back in the day, and they have all the little old school cars running around, and it just was a really cool experience. And also spending time with my friend, oh my gosh, I haven't met anyone like her that gets me the way that she does, and that we just click so effortlessly. Like, you know, we did see each other last year, but before that it had been like 10 years. And I mean, it always just feels like we just pick up where we left off. And to have a friend like her, especially over all these years, is super special. Oh my gosh, do you see who that is?
Oh my gosh. Today is Sunday. It's 1 o'clock. I just said bye to my friend, and oh my gosh, it literally took us 3 hours to say bye. We said bye a million times. I love her so much, and I honestly can't even explain how grateful I am to have a friend like her, and also a friend that has known me through everything that I've been through. Is just she makes me feel really seen and loved always. And oh my gosh, I can't even, honestly, I couldn't put into words how much I needed that, and how grateful I am to have the people that I have in my life. Super special. I'm so emotional. So now I've got a 4-hour drive back to Ohio, back to my little brothers, where my little brothers and my mom are, and I'm gonna spend the next few days with them. So here we go.
So now I'm back in Ohio. I went home, back to my little brother's house, where my mom did like a Sunday dinner, and she made one of our favorite meals as kids, which was chicken paprikash. I don't know if many people have ever had this, but it's kind of like a hungry dish, and my mom makes it a little bit different, but oh my gosh, that is one of my favorites. But I actually don't really like the chicken. I just really eat the noodles and the sauce. But anyways, then we got into town and we went to visit a couple of people. So I went and visit one of my childhood friends who our families were kind of friends. She's like family to me too. And she lives in this cute little town. And then we went to Ashtabula, which was like the city of where I lived in Andover. And we would drive like 45 minutes to go to a Walmart. That's how I used to grow up. I used to have to drive 45 minutes to a Walmart. Can you believe that? I don't even know. And in the snow. Definitely a different life then. But anyways, this is my luggage again. Oh my gosh. The saga with the luggage, man. I can't tell you how many times I've packed this, unpacked it, repacked it, given away things, consolidated. So I finally got it packed, and I have just my little carry-on in my big check-in bag. And then this is me arriving to the train station at 3 a.m. and even like a grown man was saying that he felt sketched out there, which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did too. But then this is me at like 3:30 when I got settled in, and I didn't have anywhere to put all my luggage, so it's just like in the little room with me. But I took advantage of my like 2 hours of sleep that I got to get before I had to log on to my Spanish class on the train. So fun. But anyways, I'm actually heading to DC, so I'll see you next week.